Come on, Knicks.
Garbage. All right, Vig. Let's talk a little bit about the New York Knicks a little more. And I want to follow up on a written post that I had the other day, if you've been following the site.
I have.
I know I have too. You guys at home, if you haven't or not, fitsandvig.com, check it out. Yankees, New York sports, you're going to love it. And we've talked recently, or at least I wrote specifically, that Carmelo Anthony has ruined the New York Knicks.
Bold statement, but you can't argue with it.
Can't argue with it. I mean, 2-8 with him coming back from injury. Now that we have Jeremy Lin on board, basically falling out of the Eastern Conference playoff race. If we get in maybe as an 8 seed, face the the Bulls, be out in 4 games. Who cares?
Yep. Who cares?
So basically, the point is, now that Mike D'Antoni has resigned,
yep.
Melo has basically forced the coach to resign, not be fired.
Yep.
Should we keep him in New York, Carmelo Anthony? Does he have a place here? Can he bring us to a championship that we want? What do you think, Ben?
I think it depends on the coach. So prior to Pat Riley, you had a whole host of coaches that tried but couldn't get there. You had Don Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, you had Stu Jackson. So you had the same players with we'll call them no-name coaches, even though Stu Jackson's become one of the execs within the NBA. No-name coaches that were then replaced by, again, I can't say Donnie Nelson is a no-name coach, but not elite coaches.
Right.
That were then replaced by Pat Riley. Boom, Knicks took it up to elite level and almost won a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but they were the top 2 or 3 team every year while Riley was there. I think if they nailed down a new coach,
Okay.
if they get your Phil Jacksons, if you bring back Van Gundy, who's a defensive guy, and it still doesn't work, and they put an offense around Melo as an isolation guy, but with Lin and Stoudemire as a pick and roll team, and they still can't get out of that 5, 6, 7, 8 seed, he's got to be out.
Well, I'm going to go a step further and say that I disagree with you here, in the sense that I think D'Antoni's offense does revolve around Carmelo. He is the guy taking 25 shots a game, and he's still got a 35% field goal percentage, not averaging 38 points a game. He's averaging 23 points a game, which all sounds like a lot. When you're taking the amount of shots he is, when the offense revolves around you, if you're not averaging 30 points a game and not playing any defense, which he's not going to do under anybody's offense or anybody's play style, that's a problem. Yeah. And so I'm going to go so far as to say, following up on my post, that showing the 2-8 record that they've had now over the past 10 games, that's enough. I'll extrapolate that over a whole season. I'll say that Carmelo is not the answer, and they should try to move him right now for a superstar. Why not move him for Dwight Howard? Why not just do something to make a big move where we can get another name in there, for the next coach that's going to come in and go back to revolving the offense around a point guard, Jeremy Lin-centered offense that, obviously went 7-2 under his time without Melo.
I think you'd be selling low at this point. I don't think you can get Dwight Howard. I don't think you could at this point. Generally speaking, you could. Right? Melo was a perennial all-star. I think right now you're selling low. And the reason why I would say give the next coach a shot, it's got to be a kick-ass coach, right? It's not going to be Pat Riley because he's the executive in Miami.
Right.
He's the executive in Miami. He's already got a nice
Nobody
game.
give up that sure thing.
Exactly. Yeah. But if you bring a kick-ass coach in, I go back to Melo. Although the offense is allowed to revolve around Melo, D'Antoni's system is really not suited to revolve around anyone but the point guard. Think about Steve Nash. Think about Jeremy Lin. What their whole focus is run and gun.
Yeah.
Get the ball out, shoot the ball within 8 seconds of the shot clock, not isolation. What Melo does is he gets the ball and he stops. And he jab fakes.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks about what he wants to do, what he wants to do for the next 6 seconds of the shot clock. D'Antoni's system, although he says, hey, whoever wants to take the shots, take the shots.
Right.
It's not Melo, here's the ball. It's run and gun, you have 8 seconds to make a shot, and he goes against that system.
And that's tough to do. When you're that much of an offensive stalwart that Carmelo is, even if you're playing offense where you should only have the ball for 8 seconds, when he'll take the shot in 5, I think that's a problem, which is why I want him off the team.
So he holds the ball. That's the key. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. My only point would be, I think you're selling low. You let the next coach come in, you give it a year, and it's going to be obvious. If he's not the guy, you move him for whatever team's wants to take a max contract. Keep that in mind. Max contracts in the NBA are an issue. and then you evolve the team around Lynn and Stoudemire. So I'm totally
And
with
I think we've hit this point, you know, pretty hard, but I think I'm gonna throw out one more thing and I want you to speak to this. I have a feeling that as, you know, the Knicks are now looking for a coach, it's gonna be tough to bring in a big-time brand name coach who's gonna view the team as dysfunctional with Carmelo Anthony. Whereas if you brought in, say, you know, promoted somebody to be the interim coach for the end of the season, who cares, you know, season's over now for the Knicks. Do that, try to move Melo, then at the offseason you can bring in that big name. I feel like you lose your chance here of getting the big name coach while you have Melo on the team.
I think you can get a big name coach because the Knicks have pieces. In the NBA, there's 5 players on the court at any moment. That's why Michael Jordan could win so many championships, because he could dominate. He's 20% of the team.
Right.
The Knicks have pieces. If you move Melo, unless you get another star player back, you're removing the number of pieces you have. So I do think they can get a big name coach in New York City. They're going to totally overpay.
Oh yeah. They'll pay a ridiculous amount.
So I think you can get a big name coach. Point well taken. As far as is that coach going to want to come in and be in a dysfunctional situation? Probably not to Phil Jackson.
Right.
But I think you can get another big name. Whether or not Melo fits into that person's system, to me, that's where the rubber meets the road. And a year later, Melo could be gone.
Yeah, that's good. You know what? That's good points. And I think we'll just pretty much be waiting to see how Melo finishes out the season and if he's with the team in 2013.
Who the hell's calling me?
I don't know.
If it was my wife, we got an issue.
She's going into labor.